on a Sunday night, engines screaming, fists up tight, Discord popping, somebody said, get you some before we're dead. Lap one, chaos, 3 wide deep, somebody blinks, somebody weeps, rear view mirror full of smoke, cut me off, I won't lift, that'll do it, there he goes again. You dive in low, I hold my line, chrome to chrome at the finish line. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning, league race live, and we're still 3 wide. You wanna see my dog? Yeah, that eagle on my grill is boss. Talk is cheap when the mic is hot, but back it up when the track gets tight. Slide job sent from outer space, net code give it, net code takes. Somebody's yelling in the chat, who drove through me? Imagine that. White flags flying, hearts beat fast. One more corner, don't lift that gas. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning, league race live, and we're still 3 wide. Some got skill and some got luck, some just scream, Scotty, wake up. Admin's watching, finger on mute. Somebody crossed the racing route. 3 laps down, but still we fight. Short track war under neon lights. 191 racing, say it loud. We ain't here to run in a crowd. Get you some, hold it flat. If you spin me, we'll talk about that. That'll do it. Lights come up, so let's begin. Green flag drops on a Sunday night, engines screaming, fists up tight, Discord popping, somebody said, get you some before we're dead. Lap one, chaos, 3 wide deep, somebody blinks, somebody weeps, rear view mirror full of smoke, cut me off, I won't lift, that'll do it, there he goes again. You dive in low, I hold my line, chrome to chrome at the finish line. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night when the mic is hot, but back it up when the track gets tight. Slide job sent from outer space. Net code give it, net code takes. Somebody's yelling in the chat. Who drove through me? Imagine that. White flags flying, hearts beat fast. One more corner, don't lift that gas. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside. Get you some, hold it wide. Get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning. League race live and we're still 3 wide. Some got skill and some got luck. Some just scream, Scotty, wake up. Admin's watching, finger on mute. Somebody cross the racing route. 3 laps down, but still we fight. Short track war under neon lights. Why not one racing? Say it loud. We ain't here to run in a crowd. Get you some, hold it flat. If you spin me, we'll talk about that. That'll do it. Lights come up, so let's begin. Green flag drops on a Sunday night. Engine screaming, fists up tight. Discord popping, somebody said, get you some before we're dead. Lap 1, chaos, 3 wide deep. Somebody blinks, somebody weeps. Rear view mirror full of smoke. Cut me off, I won't lift. That'll do it, there he goes again. You dive it low, I hold my line. Chrome to chrome at the finish line. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside. Get you some, hold it wide. Get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning. League race live and we're still 3 wide. You wanna see my dog? Yeah, that eagle on my grill is boss. Talk is cheap when the mic is hot, but back it up when the track gets tight. Slide job sent from outer space. Net code give it, net code takes. Somebody's yelling in the chat. Who drove through me? Imagine that. White flags flying, hearts beat fast. One more corner, don't lift that gas. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside. Get you some, hold it wide. Get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pit. drops on a Sunday night, engine screaming, fists up tight, discord popping, somebody said, get you some before we're dead. Lap one, chaos, 3 wide deep, somebody blinks, somebody weeps, rear view mirror full of smoke, cut me off, I won't lift, that'll do it, there he goes again. You dive it low, I hold my line, chrome to chrome at the finish line. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning, league race live, and we're still 3 wide. You wanna see my dog? Yeah, that eagle on my grill is boss. Talk is cheap when the mic is hot, but back it up when the track gets tight. Slide job sent from outer space. Net code give it, net code takes. Somebody's yelling in the chat. Who drove through me? Imagine that. White flags flying, hearts beat fast. One more corner, don't lift that gas. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning, league race live, and we're still 3 wide. Some got skill and some got luck. Some just scream, Scotty, wake up. Admin's watching, finger on mute. Somebody crossed the racing route. 3 laps down, but still we fight. Short track war under neon lights. 191 racing, say it loud. We ain't here to run in a crowd. Get you some, hold it flat. If you spin me, we'll talk about that. That'll do it. Lights come up, so let's begin. Green flag drops on a Sunday night, engine screaming, fists up tight, discord popping, somebody said, get you some before we're dead. Lap one, chaos, 3 wide deep, somebody blinks, somebody weeps, rear view mirror full of smoke, cut me off, I won't lift, that'll do it, there he goes again. You dive it low, I hold my line, chrome to chrome at the finish line. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning, league race live, and we're still 3 wide. is cheap when the mic is hot, but back it up when the track gets tight. Slide job sent from outer space. Net code give it, net code takes. Somebody's yelling in the chat. Who drove through me? Imagine that. White flags flying, hearts beat fast. One more corner, don't lift that gas. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside. Get you sub, hold it wide. Get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning. League race live and we're still 3 wide. Some got skill and some got luck. Some just
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the 191 Motorsports presented by Kim's Cups and More and One Vision EMS and Transports. Tonight we are here at the Auto Club Speedway, beautiful track out here in California, and it'll be daytime out here tonight. So actually not tonight, it's today that we're out here for 100 laps at Auto Club. Looking good out there right now. The drivers out there for qualifying. We'll get our in-race pre-race reporter in here in a moment, and tonight is going to be driver of the 55, Zane Bierman, who is currently at provisional pole, but still some drivers yet to put in some qualifying time, so we'll get him up here in a minute. But so far so good through the season. We are now starting the back half of the season. 7 races down, 7 to go, starting here tonight as we'll have Auto Club, and then we get into a little bit of a tricky spot in the schedule. We'll get to talk about that a little bit later, but for now, Carl, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, back here where we just love to be at these 2 Mile D ovals.
Yeah, Auto Club is same thing as Michigan, just great tracks, great racing. Obviously, plenty of different strategies can be held here, different lines can be used. Look forward to seeing how they do here tonight. It does look like we have a little over 20 drivers, so it should be a pretty good one. I believe Carl has stepped out. But no, fans, we're just want to welcome everybody. Obviously, a huge shout out. And if you haven't already, before we get started, give us a thumbs up and a like and subscribe. It's free, don't cost nothing, but it does help out the league and us here at CRN. And if you're interested in seeing everything else that we have to cover here throughout the week, you can go ahead and hit that bell and get those notifications. We'll get that. So now that's out of the way. Looking forward to getting racing here, obviously. And, it's been a few good seasons so far here with 191 Motorsports. Some of the best fans out there for sure. And, just trying to put on a good show. And let's see, where... I didn't leave the channel, did I? Nope. Carl's still here. Okay.
Yep, I'm here. Okay. Yep, I just popped out to make sure we got our in-race reporter. Yep. So while we get a chance, we're going to go ahead and pull in the driver of the 55, Zane Bierman. Zane, welcome to the booth here. Obviously, we're happy you're picking Auto Club as a track that you want to talk to us, because it's one of our favorite tracks for sure. But it's certainly it's been running good here for the 55 lately. You had a good qualifying lap right now, looking like you're sitting in the second row. So how do you feel going into today's race?
I feel pretty good. We ran some practice laps here last night and got a little feel for it a day ahead of time. So I felt good coming into practice today. Got my lines down, ran good in pre-race practice as well, and was on the front row for a minute until I got bumped just a second ago, but hopefully we'll be able to put something together.
So any troublesome spots out there that we need to watch for? I know sometimes if you're not getting the exit at turn 2, it can get a little tight and get you up into that outside wall on the exit. Yep.
Turn 2's that way and 4's the same way. If you end up pushing, sometimes you end up having to sacrifice quite a bit of time. But if you can get the nose pointed and lay your traction down, that's the best way to get out of it without losing your rears.
All right, buddy. Well, wish you luck out there. Before we let you go and get in the car, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'm gonna thank the wife and the baby.
All right, buddy. Good ones to thank for sure. Well, hopefully we can give them a show out here tonight. Good luck to you, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of the race in the top 3.
See you guys.
That is driver of the 55, Zane Bierman, getting ready to strap in and get the California Dreamin' 200 underway. Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of tonight's starting order?
Quick rundown of tonight's starting lineup. It's going to be Billy Rickett on the pole, Douglas Ivey on the outside, net number 33. Zane Bierman, I just talked to, will start on MP number 3 on road number 2, along with Matthew Jordan. Travis Noble up there in 5th, and Michael Rakes in 6th. Tony Brennan in 7th. Dale Garner in 8th. 9th is Zach Pierre. 10th is Mike Casey. Robbie Miner back in 11th. Scott Henderson in 12th. Levi Poland starting in 13th. Wade Inyard out there in 14th. Thomas Osborne. And then Paul Helms, Hezzy Hardy, and Andrew Jones. A few more drivers on the list to pull up, as in 19th you're going to see Steve Harrison, and 20th will be Tanner McAllister.
Good size velo here as we get another 20 drivers taking it on here tonight. Who's going to have the hot shoe? We'll take a look at the point standings coming in, and right now it is Mike Casey on top of the boards by 19 points over Billy Rickett. Michael Rakes only 1 more point behind in 3rd. Then you got Bryce Saucier, Andrew Jones for your top 5. Then you got Bierman, Ivy, Jordan, Noble, and Yule for the top 10. But a lot of different winners here so far in the season, as we got Mike Casey with 2, along with Bryce Saucier grabbing 2. Then you got Billy Rickett, Michael Rakes, and Hezzy Hardy, with your other drivers getting a single win here through the first 7 races. But we have another winner here tonight. Well, we're going to find out here in 100 laps, as the drivers starting to pull off here and do a little burnout here to maybe get those rears warmed up and ready to go. I mean, hey, they got to get warm somehow, Jimmy.
I mean, that's one way to do it. Just drop the hammer to try to not wreck it coming out of the pits. Be an interesting race for Zach, and kind of embarrassing. I'm sure he was like, like, oh, whoa moment there. But you know, you kind of try to want to get down and get excited to get rammed in the rear. But you know, obviously keep that car together, and we're gonna get this thing started here. As you can see, the schedule's on the track. There's what's up there in their top right corner as they head down the back stretch at the moment.
I thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. Hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank sponsors here again: Kim's Cups and More, One Vision EMS and Transports, and Beyond the Edge for their sponsorship here for the season. But it's time to go racing here again. Billy Rickett on the pole. He's certainly got one of the better average starts here on the season. Bryce Saucier, the best, averaging a 5th place start, but the number 7 is right there in 2nd, averaging just over that with 6th place on his average start. But it's that finish. You got to get that better finish. He does finally have 1 win on the season this year. We finally got to talk to him, but I want to talk to him again. We'll see if that 7 can get up there. But right now, Barney's got that green flag waving. We're racing here in Cali.
Okay, they go 2 by 2, heading down to turn number 1. Billy Rickett, not much of an advantage over Douglas Ivy on the outside, as Douglas is just a slight nose pass as they head down to turn number 1. But turn number 1 with new tires, you can really get down in that bottom line, and as long as it's clear on the outside, you can make way and move forward. But it's, you know, kind of not being side by side on the exit of turn 2 allows you to use that inside line a little bit more. But we'll see how they all settle down here. I know I prefer a little higher line through 1 and 2, a little lower line through 3 and 4 for myself. But you can see, I don't know if anybody has in particular 1 line they like, as they're using many here at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you see the seams in the track, as we always mention. There's plenty of ways to tackle these corners here, and you see them all fanning out, all spreading out. It seems like the leaders may prefer that top line right now. Not sure if it's because of where the speed is, maybe saving a little tires up there as well, because you know, we will have the comp caution after lap number 25, but that's a pretty good distance into this race, Jimmy. I mean, I don't know what the fuel mileage is here for tonight, but I would think they should be able to make it to 25 with no problem. But you know, if you're running that high line, you're running the longer way around here, maybe making this 2-mile track 2.25 miles. So I don't know, maybe it stretches it out a little bit more, but I think they should be good till the comp caution.
Don't know. Didn't get any laps in today. Double check it. So we're about to find out, and you know, I'm sure a caution would help make that. But you can see some of the rear ends kind of sticking out here just a little bit. But all good so far throughout the field. Billy Rickett is your leader with Zane Bierman in 2nd. Matthew Struppy in 3rd, Michael Rakes, and then Dale Garner, Douglas Ivy now in 5th. Biggest mover, though, is Levi Poland. No surprise here, but number 91 coming up through the field.
He already up 4 spots, started back there just outside the top 10, but trying to make some moves early. Now dropping a spot to Robbie Miner, who's another driver that could definitely use a good finish. He's been, in and out of the top 10 quite a bit here early on in the races, but just gets caught up and mixed up in things that take him out of the race and then finishing towards the back, unfortunately. But right now, Billy Rickett leads the way, and the teammates almost kind of bookending it, because I see a meatball flag on his teammate, Travis Noble. Not sure what happened to the 70 early, but I don't see him running right now. Tanner McAllister looks like he didn't take the green flag here tonight, so right now, unfortunately, the expired Motorsports drivers bookending in this field.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened there. I wonder if it would be a blown motor, Carl, because I'm not seeing anything on the results or anything like that. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe find out what happened to Travis Noble.
Yeah, it looks like still out of it right now, so not sure if he's, it looks like he had the issue a 10th of a lap into the race, so he at least took the green flag, but I'm not sure what happened from there. Looks like the meatball flag now is gone, so he'll be able to get one of those laps back here at the comp caution, but gonna need some more help because it looks like he's 4 laps down at the moment, and maybe he's gonna get another one back right here as Robbie Miner and Tony Brennan get together here, bring out an early caution.
Yeah, and I'm having Noble is out of the race at the moment, so I don't even know if he's online at the moment. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. But you see Robbie Miner just coming up a little too fast, getting up into the 65.
It looked like a good amount of net code in between them when they made contact. I think they might have eventually made contact anyway, but net code certainly playing a part here, and it can happen here on the front stretch at Auto Club because of the long grandstand, all the fans in attendance here tonight. And why wouldn't they be? But it can be a little bit harmful to some PCs out there trying to generate everything out there. So that's why sometimes you'll see some linking or some net code issues on the front stretch here. But either way, gonna have an early caution here, and any chance that they weren't going to make it to lap 25 on fuel, I think it's out the window now, and I think they're good to go. I don't think there's any benefit really to coming in here and taking even just taking fuel. It doesn't make sense unless you just want to come in and just top off, and maybe you're deciding not to take tires at the comp caution. I don't know why you would, but right now I feel like the only thing you're doing is just kind of giving up some track position, unless you have maybe a little damage. Maybe you scrape the wall, or certainly like the 53 and 65 getting involved in that incident right there, maybe having a little bit of damage as you just want to piece together, tape up a little bit. Certainly not enough to get the fast pair out for, but either way, yeah, I'm not seeing Travis Noble out there either, so maybe the meatball was, I don't know, do you get a meatball when iRacing kind of kicks you off the track for connection issues?
I mean, I guess you don't if you considered a meatball, but I don't think so. Sonny Brennan and, Robbie coming in and get those vehicles fixed up to get back out there. Obviously, I do like the 2-mile track. If you get a little damage, you can get yourself a chance to get a little bit of work done. It's not like the cars are right on the entry where you're going to go a lap down, so you can at least save yourself there and stay in the lead lap. And Robbie was having a pretty decent run there, so just kind of lost just a little bit, but you got to make what you can. And obviously this one here is early on. We're only on lap 7 of 100, folks, so plenty of racing still remaining. Billy Rickett is your leader with Zane Bierman sitting back there in second. Mike Casey is now up on the second row with Michael Rakes sitting in fourth, with Dale Garner Jr. in fifth. That would be your top 5. Then you have Levi Poland, Douglas Ivey, Zach Garrett, Wade Inyard, and Scott Henderson for your top 10.
The first touch I got in a pick 6, and then I was at the 5-yard line.
5-yard line. Sounds like Carl is teaching some college football to our little broadcaster in the background.
Yeah, so, our third man in the booth here, as usual. But yeah, so far so good. I mean, again, I'm surprised because it almost looked like both Miner and Brennan may have taken faster pairs on that one. I mean, their cars are nice and clean again. I didn't think there was enough damage to use a faster pair in that case, especially with the with the comp caution coming up here, you could have taken some damage there, stayed on the lead lap for, the next 20 laps, and then maybe taken some more damage, or even used the fast spare at that point. But to each his own. We'll see how it works out. And I'm seeing Travis Noble again with a meatball, so I don't know what the heck is going on with the 70 here tonight. I don't see that he got back in here at all, but I do see him with another meatball. But either way, maybe he can just sit back and maybe crew chief for his teammate, because his teammate's leading right now. Billy Rickett out front, Zane Bierman on the outside now with him, moving up to second place here. We got Michael Rakes, Michael Casey, and Dale Garner Jr. for your top 5. Then we got Poland, Ivy, Pierre, Henderson, and Enyart for your top 10. Good to see Wade out there and running pretty good right now, up there in the top 10. 3 drivers in the pits. We've seen Matthew Scruffy Jordan come in there, top off on fuel. We've seen Brendan Miner in there as well. Maybe just get some fuel, get some damage repaired. But pace car lights are out. It's time to get the California Dreamin' 200 back underway.
Somebody's dreaming of the checkered flag, and hopefully it's not Travis Noble, because I think it might have turned into a nightmare. But right now, we're getting this thing restarted here as Billy Rickett will get down into that restart zone, get on that loud pedal, and a pretty even start for the top and the bottom here. Maybe a little better jump on the bottom there by Billy, able to get back in front of Zane Bierman up there on that high side. You can see him come up to that high side, try to take that momentum away, but come down the nice deep entry there. And that's kind of one way to do it, because it takes about a lap, Carl, to kind of get your car wound up really good to be at max speed, get them tires back up the temperature, and be able to hit your marks the way you want to.
One thing I'm seeing is a lot of red, white, and blue out there here tonight. I mean, a lot of these drivers getting ready for the upcoming festivities, I'm sure. The upcoming 4th of July coming up next week. And for me, it's one of, if not my favorite holiday out there. I'm a big fireworks guy. I love going to, even seeing them at the, baseball stadiums on Friday nights or things like that. I'm a big fan of it. My son is too. My daughter's finally coming around now as well. She was a little younger to the point where it, was hurt her ears a little bit too much with the loudness, but yeah, she's starting to come around too, and it looks like the 70 of Travis Noble trying to come around as well. I see him blinking really bad there. He was back on the backstretch on the track right there, but certainly having some issues here tonight, maybe connection issues. And again, maybe that's why he's getting the meatball, because the car looks fine, but maybe that's what happens when you have bad connection issues and iRacing kicks you to the pits. It kind of gives you a meatball until you get reset. I don't know, but either way, he's at least trying to complete some laps here. He's down several laps, but you never know what happens here at Auto Club, and if there's any kind of a big one that takes some drivers out, we'll see if he can get back in the mix of this. But right now, Billy Rickett's still leading the way. Bierman, Casey, Rakes, and Ivy for your top 5.
Yeah, Thomas Osborne in the back here hit the wall pretty good, nice and flush, but it was enough to kick up some dust off the wall. So he won't want to do that too many more times and make you a little leery. But you can see, Robbie Miner back here, obviously. Scruffy Jordan electing to come in here kind of early, and I'm don't know.
We got a blown motor? No, we got a car around there. We got a couple cars involved there. I seen the smoke. I didn't see the wreck itself, but it looks like Ivy, Poland, Osborne all collected in this one. And oh my God, we talked about netcode. There is a prime example of netcode at Auto Club. Huge amount of room in between the 91 and 33. I mean, you can see it visibly even from a side angle. There's plenty of room in between the two cars, but this is what can happen right here. And you see it right there. That's not air pushing that car around. That is straight up netcode. That's one server, or one computer thinking that the other car is actually closer than it is coding wise, and sends them around. Looks like 30 gets a piece of it as well. Looks like, I believe, Michael Rakes tries to shoot the gap. Oh, sorry, that's not Michael Rakes. That's
64.
64 of Helms. He tries to shoot the gap there. That didn't work too well either. But right there, Tony Brennan maybe getting a little piece of it again up into the wall. Gonna have some cars that may need some repairs on this one. Nothing too major, but certainly going to need to get some repairs here again. And we're only halfway to the comp caution, so got to keep this thing under wraps here for a little bit. Looks like the 134 of Harris and the 83 of Osborne getting together here late as well.
Yeah, they were
But,
trying to go to the high
yeah.
side. And 83 just nicked the 91 just a little bit, sending them around. So, second caution of the night here, though, on lap 13 of 100 in netcode, being our rearing its ugly head here tonight. Let's see, so do we have any meatballs? No sides of meatballs, just a black flag for Hazy.
And some of the cars now coming in the pits, a lot of them are the ones that were involved in this incident. You can see the 30 of Hardy now coming in as well. Not sure why he got the black flag if he came in maybe a lap before when the caution or the pit road wasn't open. But majority of the field staying out here. Again, we still got another 12 laps till we get to the comp caution. But the 70 is going to get one of his laps back. He's got quite a ways to go. I think he's got 11 more to go to get himself back on that lead lap. But just got to pick him off one at a time. He'll get one more back at the comp caution, and maybe, hopefully not, but maybe it turns into a wreck fest and he can get himself all the way back onto the lead lap. But right now, like I said, he can at least cheer on his teammates to lead the way here with Billy Rickett.
Yeah, it's a long ask to give 10 laps back. You know, that means nobody else can go lap down, and you know, you're looking for 10 more. I mean, you could stay. I guess you could. Once lap 25 comes here, you can stay out, get the wave around, and get. No, actually, you'd be the lucky dog if nobody goes a lap down.
Yep.
So get one back there. So that's 2. So, but plenty more laps here. I mean, obviously, you just want to try your best. You see already McAllister already out, so just being able to get one lap in, you know, you're not going to finish last, and you know, nobody ever wants to finish last. You know, that's like I think the biggest thing for any driver. You know, like, you know, if you're, especially if you're newer, like the last thing I want to do is be last. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but sometimes you are. And maybe even maybe the 70 even going ahead and getting some wave rounds here. Carl is you know, it was an internet connection type of thing more than likely. And, you know, some leagues, you know, if it's an internet connection, they'll allow you to get as many laps back as possible under caution, to the point of whether you're down to just 1. So, but we're going to get 2 wide. It does look like the Hardy will get at least this one here back as he works his way around to the back of the field when they, I don't know if he'll make it where they'll let him go by one more time or not, Carl, because they're already in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, most likely not. They'll probably get this thing gridded back up here, and I mean, it's if he's full throttle, maybe he makes back around. He won't be back with the pack once they get the green flag. But yeah, I mean, you talk about not wanting to finish last. I mean, there's times where we make a mistake and sign into the race instead of going there as a spectator, as we do for broadcasting, and we're registered as one of the drivers, and hell, we don't even like finishing last when we're not even in the race. So I totally understand that. Me and Jimmy go back and forth saying, you know, who's gonna win.
Get my IRA up so I can stop losing that.
I mean, there's been times where we'll hop in the car, just drive down pit road, just to say, no, I beat you. It's okay, even though we're both up here in the booth. But either way, we're gonna get this thing back underway. As the 70 going to rejoin the field at the back here. So Lieutenant McAllister looks like he is not going to be running here tonight, so we'll have 19 cars for the race. Hopefully we can get all 19 back on the lead lap, but right now pace car is off. It's now back into the hands here of Billy Rickett to get him back going. We'll have 10 laps till the comp caution as the 7 is back on the lap pedal.
Yeah, back on the throttle here, and a good start by the inside line, both by Billy Rickett and Mike Casey. Mike Casey looking kind of down to that inside, going to cut up in front of Zane Bierman, take that momentum away. Secure Pete number 2 here, going to the high side, try to wind up that car, but like I said early on, that first lap, that inner line is the place to be. You really carry the most amount of speed down to turn 1, but Mike Casey's going to go to the inside for turns number 3 and 4, and that's the line that I prefer, Carl, anyway. So worked out there for Mike as he comes out from turn number 4 in the lead, but got a little loose. Billy Rickett now noses ahead. They are race down to the finish here, and is going to be Billy Rickett lap led here on lap number 17 of the race.
battling here, but it looks like Rickett is content hanging on that top line and trying to get that car wound up here. You see Casey tries to get alongside, tries to get a little bit of a side drop. It's going to fall back in line in front of Bierman. He's all over the back bumper because Bierman's running that high line and trying to keep that thing wound up as well. Now heading into 3 and 4, Rickett goes down towards the bottom, maybe trying to take the air off here of the number 6. You can definitely do that here if you know what you're doing. You see right there, the 18 and the 55 both get up into the wall coming off of turn number 4. It's going to hurt the 55 a little bit more because now Rake's going to go to the outside. Look for P number 3 heading into 1.
Yeah, the outside in turns 1 and 2. If you're not afraid of the wall and you carry some speed down in there, kind of lift and then just drag your brake just a little bit, get that nose of turn before you get onto it, and you can really get that momentum going. The 18's able to capitalize on that, get back into P number 3, but Zane Bierman's going to go down to that inner line there through turns 3 and 4. I look to take back P number 3, but this is kind of what Billy Rickett and Mike Casey probably don't mind. But I mean, obviously, I can see some heavy racing here, to the comp caution, as they have those here at 191 Motorsports. Kind of let everybody get out there, spread their wings, get some runs in, and then kind of bring them all together and race for the remainder of the race. But you see the 55 not getting too good of a run. And then Dale Garner Jr. having to go down to the low side. You see some bobbing and weaving back there. Zach Pierre going down to the inside of number 31 of Dale Garner Jr. Excuse me. Who is that?
That's the 23 of Scruffy Jordan, making that move down there as he gets around the 27 of Pierre now to the inside of the 31. Garner Jr. trying to move himself up there. I mean, listen, I know you screwed up names before. That's no, nothing common right there. You screwed up names, but numbers, you're pretty good with numbers. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was a little bit rough. Right now we're getting closer to that cop caution as we're going to have about 5.5 laps here until we get to it. Billy Rickett has led the way this entire time here. Casey finds himself in his second. He's the biggest mover of the race after starting in 10th position. And we've seen him qualify up front, but it seems like more often than not lately. He's been maybe just outside the top 5 here tonight. This was one of the worst qualifying spots we've seen Casey here in a while, qualifying in 10th, but clearly he's got the race pace in that car to get up here in the mix here once again, whether Renee likes it or not. But either way, he is up there in second place. Rakes in third. Bierman has dropped back to 4th. Then he up here right now back into 5th as they're 3 wide down the backstretch here. Man, I didn't realize how bumpy it was, but looking from that camera angle right there, Jimmy, it seemed like down the bottom line of the inside, or the inside line down the backstretch, that 23 was almost jumping down the backstretch.
Yeah, it's actually quite bumpy here, Carl. I'll take all the fans on board with the gyro cam, and you'll get to see the shaking of the car, just up and right, just kind of jiggling around all down that backstretch. It's kind of unnerving, and it plays a lot into how well you can get on that throttle and what the car is doing. I mean, weight transfer is weight transfer, and if you hit a bump a wrong way, trying to get on a throttle, it can send you around, and it can really kind of mess things up, or make you miss your mark just by a little bit because maybe you're waiting for the car to settle down a little bit. But you see here with Scotty Henderson taking that inside line there, 2, 3, and 4 right behind Scruffy Jordan, and number 23. Just trying to do a pretty good job here. Up 4 spots here so far for Scotty as he's hanging on to P number 8 right in front of TC Hardy, who is up 8 spots at the moment. The driver that's kind of fallen back the most, though, maybe has some issues, but is the number 33 of Douglas Ivey. So hopefully he can make his way back up to the field again. It stinks sometimes. You get yourself a great qualifying, and next thing you know, you're in the back of the pack, and you got to work pretty hard. Obviously, with the comp caution up here, just 2 more laps, we should, we'll see him hopefully get back up there and get grouped back up, but trying to knock out a few spots, as many as possible. But new leader Carl is the 6th of Michael Casey. Makes his way to the lead, but Michael Rakes looking to take that away.
Rink's trying to make a late run here and try to lead here at the comp caution, but don't look now. Here comes Zane Bierman here once again. Almost thought about making it 3 wide there, going through the corner. Gonna have to back out of it a little bit, try and get a good run here once again. But this is all fine and dandy for Casey. Is gonna stretch out the lead here, stretch his legs, try and take this lead into the comp caution as they head into turn number 3. Gonna have one more time around once they get to the line, so they get that yellow flag waving. And yeah, unfortunately for that 33 of Ivy involved in the latest incident, was turned backwards. Didn't look like too much damage to him, but that's why he's kind of marred in the back of the pack right now. But working his way back up there, he's just outside the top 10 right now. Comp caution will give him a chance to reset, and it looks like we are going to get that comp caution right now here on lap number 24. Rack him back up, let him do some pit stops. I'm sure some of these cars will be wanting some fresh tires on. It's not too terrible here on tires at Auto Club, in my opinion, but and especially with some of these caution laps and giving these drivers a chance to kind of cool the tires back down. But it's been 24 laps. You're definitely going to want some new tires.
Yeah, after 48, almost 50 miles here complete, whether they're under caution or not, drivers are looking for put some fuel, get some new tires, get things kind of going, and set their way. But you can see how they're kind of spread out a little bit, and obviously when a caution comes out, you don't want to be right on your competitor's back bumper. But a gap like this can if for some reason it gives all the drivers in front of you that ability to make up that mistake. So everybody does try to kind of close in, but you got to be careful closing in the field so far back. We'll move back just a couple more spots, and you can see everybody trying to catch up, make sure they're not losing time in the pits, and have that possibility. You see Scotty got quite a bit of throttle, and obviously coming up now, so I'm going to start dragging the brake here. But yeah, it's one thing how they can get spread out like that when a caution comes out, and that's good, so nobody gets into each other. But you never know. You get a good grouping coming in, and you can gain a spot, if you have a good pit stop. So you got Brennan coming in, everybody's coming down. I believe the speed limit here is 55 here tonight, I think.
Yeah, I believe you're right. One person that doesn't mind this comp caution is 70. Travis Noble getting some more laps back here as he is still wide open there on the backstretch in that ally number 70. And we'll see how many laps he decides to get back. He's certainly going to want to come in and get some fresh tires here as well. Or maybe he elects to stay out there and save those fresh tires until later in the race, since he's already kind of behind the 8 ball right now. Going to stay out at least for another lap, get some more time back here, as it looks like he's still down 8 or 9 laps here to the field. Looking at the pit stops here, looks like majority of the field taking tires, but not all of them taking 4 tires. It looks like your new leader, Matthew Scruffy Jordan, electing 2 tires here on the Dude Wipes number 23. So he's going to now take over the lead. Billy Rickett, Michael Casey, Mike Rakes, all taking 4 tires, as well as Zane Bierman. Then you got Douglas Ivy. It looks like maybe 2 tires, maybe no tires. We got another one back in the pack. Steve Harris looks like electing fuel only on this stop as well. And a track like this, and the fact that you had some cautions, maybe not necessarily a bad thing, keeping a couple sets of tires in the pits for a late race run.
Yeah, I mean, tires obviously a big difference here, but they only last about the huge difference is only about 3 or 4 laps. So and then they start kind of coming down, especially if you're overdriving the car. If you get down into 1 or 3 and 4 too aggressively, you can really burn up your tires quickly and find yourself pushing and just losing way too much time in them corners. It's I got to be smooth out there for this track, and it's sometimes hard to remember when your car's bouncing around all over the place down the backstretch. But it's one of those races where sometimes it can benefit. He's going to gain a few spots here, as he did start towards the back, but he's currently sitting back there in P number 11 at the moment there. For the number 134 Steve Harris, but up front, your leader for the beginning, when this thing goes back to green, will be the number 23 of Matthew Scruffy Jordan and Billy Rickett on the outside.
And like, if you're a Ken Newell fan, unfortunately, he decided sleep was more important. Ended up falling asleep and missing the race here. He's not a big fan of himself right now, missing the race here tonight. I know it certainly worked out for Jimmy. Naps win championships, but if you don't make the race at all, it's kind of hard to get any kind of points. But either way.
I mean, I did win a championship, and I did sleep through a race. Or at least missed the beginning, so I couldn't even join. But that's why we always say naps win championships. But that was pure luck. You don't get away with that very often. There was sheer consistency that season. In a rookie series that Core had back in the day, when we had a developmental series. So kind of have these leagues here. They're based on like newer drivers. Well, Core used to have a developmental series, and you had to make sure the drivers out there is what you wanted for the Premier Series, where you're challenged by different car track combos and each and every week. So you kind of take that, and somebody that really was wanting to get into iRacing and see a little bit of everything. That was kind of one way to do it. It was probably the main reason I have so much content, for sure. I don't know if I would have joined the league, what kind of racing I'd still be doing. As my main focus was here on the ovals. I do a lot of NASCAR growing up, and to kind of get out there and do something that I always watched on TV, and run these tracks that were to scale and to spec and laser scanned. Is just a very, very fun thing to get started, and got really involved into it really quick. But Michael Rakes is going to go ahead and get the lap led there for that time by, but Scruffy on the outside trying to take back the lead.
Yeah, trying to work those two tires to his advantage here, and it's doing okay right now. Really, you just got to kind of survive those first 4 or 5 laps. Sometimes it gets a little bit loose with only 2 tires on there until you kind of even them out, just like the rest of the field with 4 tires behind. But they will eventually even out, and sometimes you just get that fresh air on the car and put everybody else in that dirty air. It can be enough to get front, hold it, but it looks like it's not going to happen here. Rakes is going to clear the 23 at the front. Rickett now down to the inside looking for P number 2, and you see a bit of a group forming here at the front right now. We got it looks like the top 10 right now in a group right here, and then another 3 seconds back as Rickett blinking out there for a little bit, but he's not going to be side by side with Rakes for the lead.
18 trying to keep the lead here up on that high side. Billy Rickett go down to the inside through 3 and 4, trying to get it to work. You see a little bit of scraping going on for these cars, and obviously these cars are their legacy, so they don't have any official series per se, so they don't get any love, Carl, and no adjustments, no nothing. Just kind of left to kind of collect dust, and these drivers out here do a fantastic job bringing them to life here on Sunday nights.
Yeah, and the cars typically don't change that much, but the tracks sometimes do. Sometimes they get a brand new scan. Sometimes they tweak them here and there. But as far as setups, it shouldn't really matter too much for these cars. But really, where it comes down to is if tire models change at all, if they tweak the tires at all, and these cars are legacy, and maybe they're on the old tire model, it can really change, because they're updating these tire models and these things based on what the current track is and what the current model is and everything like that. And if you're in a legacy car that's not getting touched, that's where sometimes the setups can straight up break and they won't even work, and you kind of have to figure it out for yourself. But I think they're still relatively fresh enough that everything still works for them. I know there's some other ones that are really been in legacy for a while that basically just have a baseline setup. So if it works for the track, great. If not, you're gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah, Carl, talk about what's working on the track. Them 2 tires are for Jordan, just not panning out, I think, the way that he was hoping, as he fell back all the way to be number 10 now. So has to go into kind of a tire conserve mode and run the best he can. The others are, kind of up there burning up their tires at the moment. You got Zane Bierman and number 18, Michael Rakes going side by side. Seeing Bierman getting a little loose, little wiggle there going to allow the 31 to get a run on him going down into numbers 3 and 4. So maybe taking that preferred line away and see if the 55 could kind of keep the 31 pinched down there. 31 gets a nice run down into the corner, pulls up alongside, but it's going to be held down, so that's going to take away some of that momentum. Should allow the 55 to get back out front.
So I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight as we're about a third of the way through this race, just past that. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer, as once again, we are 7-6 at the front, and as Barry wants it, he wants Casey to get up front, and he wants that 6-7 here once again. But it's been kind of an up and down season-ish for Mike Casey. I know he's got the points lead, but I think that's why the points lead is so small, because it's just kind of been, so, I don't want to say inconsistent, but not the typical way that we see Mike Casey, kind of get into a season and really rack up a bunch of good finishes back to back to back. But it's also because I think the competition is kind of evening out a little bit as well. There's a lot of competition at the front right now. That's why you see kind of nobody getting away from each other at the front, as Rickett still hangs on the outside. It looks like, yeah, he's still in the lead up there, and Casey in second. They got Rake, Spearman, Garner for your top 5. Peer, Ivy, Jones, and Hardy, your top 9, which is who is still in this pack right here. Scruffy Jordan has been shuffled back to that second pack right now that he's leading, but that's about 1.5 seconds behind your leaders. That's where 10th, 11th, and 12th of Jordan, Brennan, and Poland are 2.5 more seconds back, as we'll find Robbie Minor kind of leading the final group with Osborne, Henderson, Enyart, Harris, and Helms. And then you got Travis Noble, just hoping that these drivers mix it up a little bit more and get some more cautions, because he's still sitting back there 7 laps down in 19th position. But teammate still up front, Rickett still leading the way up here. And I'm wondering, at what point, I know they've been nice and racy and they want to get to racing, they want to have their fun out here, but at what point do you kind of start settling down here a little bit and start to conserve your tires, because you've had a nice little green flag run here, and you may be stretching this out for a full green flag run, green flag pit stops. You can't just burn everything up here, trying to race hard every single lap.
Yeah, I mean, you get about 10 to 15 laps if you're like just kind of, just push the car to its extreme, overdrive corners, turn the wheel too much, entering in too late. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do to kind of burn up your equipment. And if they get on a long green flag run, say Andrew Jones back here, I'm not sure how well he's saving his stuff, but say he was saving his stuff back here in P number 7, and these drivers are up here, you can see them weaving around, diving to the inside, racing each other, having a good old time up there. Somebody like Andrew Jones kind of sitting back here in 7th, keeping his gear together, he can find himself right up in the mix and passing right by them there pretty quickly. It's one of those tracks, Carl, you get rewarded by saving your gear on a long run. Probably more than you could think. At this point here, kind of where Andrew Jones is, and I think he's at a perfect spot. He's in a second and a half back, and I've been in this spot here where you got a bunch of people up in front of you. You're sitting in the middle of the pack, 7th or 8th, and it just looks like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not going as fast? Well, because I'm not burning up my stuff, Carl. And then, in about another 3-4 laps, when you start getting into that point where those tires are just toasted for them drivers up there, you just start picking off time, 10th after 10th after 10th. Next thing you know, you're on the back bumper and you're making passes pretty easily. So, but he's in that position. Now, I don't know how well he's able to, save his gear back here. Sometimes this is somebody's limit, and maybe they just can't catch the faster guys, but if you can manage to save them tires and work the track, you can really benefit in a very long run here. Well, that number 40 of 100, Michael Casey is your leader now, as Michael Rakes and Michael Casey have gotten around Billy Rickett. For your top 3, you got Zane Bierman, Dale Garner Jr., Zach Pierre, Andrew Jones, Izzy Hardy, Tony Brennan, Levi Poland for your top 10. Big shout out to all the fans out there as well. We've seen out there, seen a few kids out there too rooting on their pops. So just enjoy the evening. holidays upon us here next weekend, and I guess are they racing next week?
I believe they're off next week, and I have the schedule up here. I'm going to take a look here real quick. Yeah, they are off next weekend for the holiday, so we won't see 191 back in action until the 12th when we head to the big old Talladega Super Speedway. And while we're at it, we'll go through the rest of the schedule here once again with back-to-back 2.5 mile tracks. Don't see it too often in a schedule, but can't really beat any more different than Talladega Super Speedway. And then you go to Pocono, the 2.5 mile track up there in the Pocono Mountains. And then you got Charlotte, which is going to be the throwback race for the season and the start of the back-to-back night races to finish out the season. We're going to have 3 day races in a row here at Auto Club. They do have lights, but they're doing it in the day here. And then Talladega, Pocono, neither of those tracks have lights, so they're rocking some day races there. But Charlotte, Homestead, Daytona, and Vegas are going to finish out the season all under the lights. So good looking one for the end of the season, and I'm sure we'll see not just the throwback paints for Charlotte, but I'm sure we'll see some new paint schemes for those final 3 races that really shine under the lights.
Yeah, night races always make them paint pop just a little bit more, and good paint, or or even you can set like a night paint, Carl. So if you're running a night race, instead of running like these chrome cars back here, like let's see one back here. Sky's got a chrome. Scotty? Yeah, Scotty's is chrome. There's a few of them out there. They look really dark kind of at nighttime, but during the day I would say they shine really nice. Getting those.
We get a caution here.
Oh, we do have a caution.
Yeah, it looks like Thomas Osborne, Wade Enyart maybe involved in this one. No. So I wonder, it seemed like Scott Henderson's going a little bit slow. I know Renee would probably say, oh no, that's his speed, but no, he was going a little bit slow because the caution that happened right in front of him. Down the front stretch again, and I mean close to contact, but I feel like Netcode might have got involved a little bit on that one as well, as the 83 of Osborne gets turned on the front stretch. I know Travis Noble is probably happy to have this happen and maybe get back a couple more laps, but you see the 21 of Enyart going around for a bit of a ride here as well. Talk about paint schemes, Jimmy. I know you say you can set the nighttime paint schemes. I always kind of wondered for those races that kind of start around sunset. Does it give you the daytime paint scheme? Does it give you the nighttime? Regardless,
I don't know.
Because of the fact that you can set your
straight plates. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, halfway through the race. Yeah, that's what I want. I want the Hot Wheels that you run them under hot water or cold water and they change colors. That's what I want. Halfway through the race, it's now a night race. I want a different paint scheme on my car halfway through the race. So I mean, I may have to control R for it to happen, but yeah, we start in the day, but now it's night because we had 4X on the time slot. I want to see that paint changed to something completely different. Well, excuse me. Either way, it is time for some pit stops here under caution, just short of the halfway point here in the race. Travis Noble looks like he's staying out there, getting a few more laps back, getting closer to getting back on the lap. He's still got a lot of work to do, and I'm sure he's going to want to come in and take some tires here under this caution.
Yeah, Carl. Now we're starting to think about what their strategy is going to be here. I mean, obviously you got everybody came down, and it does look like everybody took 4 tires for the most part. It does look like Dale Gardner Jr. was in there just a little bit longer. Maybe a little bit of damage from slapping the wall or something. Make sure that was all kind of caught up, so you're not down any kind of arrow. Arrow's not huge here, but it can affect you, for your straightaway speeds and keeping up with everybody. So, it's kind of good to get that all finished up. But everybody's sitting around that 14 seconds. You see a couple 16 seconds in there. So there's 16 seconds over the 14 seconds. I'm wondering if it's just, those drivers using, a little bit more fuel. But it does look like everybody's out there with fresh tires and whatnot. Michael Casey will be your leader over Billy Rickett, Zane Bierman, Michael Rakes, and Levi Poland for your top 5. And Zach Deere back there in 6th. Andrew Jones has moved up there to 7th, so getting a good pit stop there. Matthew Scruffy Jordan, after falling back to 10th, he's now up there in the top 10, along with Tony Brennan and Douglas Ivey now up in the top 10. Robbie Minor made it back. He's back up to his start position in 11th. Scotty Henderson back there in 12th. You got Dale Garner Jr., Paul Helms, Steve Harris still sitting in 15th. Thomas Osborne waiting in your Hizzy Hardy for your top 18, and then Travis Noble coming down pit lane right now. Still a few laps down to 5 laps down, Carl, and we're almost at the halfway mark, and he's got about half his laps back, so on a pretty good pace.
At this rate, he's still got a chance.
He's
still in the mix.
Nobody else is a lap down.
I was just about to bring up that number 91 of Levi Poland, because we haven't really talked much about him. We've seen him kind of slowly moving through the field, and I know Spider-Bone's out there rooting him on, but finally see the 91 now up into the top 5. So it seemed like it maybe wasn't the kind of race that was maybe fitting the eye here for the 91, but slowly but surely, Poland maybe becoming a threat here once again, and another one with a good-looking red, white, and blue paint scheme on there, getting ready for next weekend. As we're getting ready to get this thing back underway, it's now Mike Casey. The first time we have a different leader up front here restarting the race. The 6 is going to lead them back to the green flag here on lap number 47 as we head to the Geico restart zone, and we're back to racing here at Auto Club.
Yeah, Barney's got that flag waving as they head down across the start-finish line down into turn number 1. Down and here it is, going down through. Catch the digger for those down at that bottom line, and then on the exit. 1 and 2. They'll head their way down out of 2 into the back stretch. We can see a few drivers scraping the wall as they fly on by. But staying off the wall down the back stretch, now down to turn number 3. Still 2 wide, still looking maybe even some 3 wide as they're trying to gain them positions. But taking a look here as they're all fanned out. It always looks like they're a few cars wider than they normally are because they take so many different lines. And it's kind of you got to be careful, maybe getting off, the optimal line if you're trying to save tires or whatnot. But Mike Casey does get that lap led here and get things rolling here as we're on lap 48 of 100.
And one thing we've seen right before the caution came out is we started to see a little bit of a breakaway and a little bit of a spread out in the front of the pack, and some of the cars starting to gap each other by half a second or so. It may not seem like much, but when you're running so close together like they are right now, only a tenth or 2 separating them, half a second seems like a good amount. So it's still within the drafting range, but they were starting to spread out here a little bit later in the run. We'll see if that happens here once again as Rickett retakes the lead, running the fastest lap of the race here so far, 40.49. So first car to get under the 40.5 second range, but now Casey going to fight back on the outside, try and take the lead back on the backstretch. But Casey, for the time being, is going to hold on to it and slide up in front. You see the 6 helping them down the backstretch right now as they fan out behind the number 7 here. Bierman rakes Poland for your top 5. Jordan, Pierre, Brennan, and Minor and Ivy for your top 10. It's been a pretty good one here. We've had a few cautions here early on in the race, in the first half of this race. Obviously the Cup caution at 25, but a lot of the cautions caused by netcode on the front stretch, and drivers just not giving enough room to factor in the net code. We've seen certainly a really bad net code here tonight, right after I mentioned about it can get a little bit sketchy on the front stretch at Auto Club because it's a bigger track. It's a 2-mile track, so it's already a lot for the PCs and the servers and everything like that to handle. But then you get on the front stretch and you see all the crowd, from the end of turn number 4 all the way to the start of turn number 1. Just a packed crowd here tonight for 191 Motorsports, which is great to see. But it can be a little bit rough on some of the computers, and that's why, again, sometimes you'll see netcode come into play. You hate to see it because you never know when it's going to pop up. You never know when you can actually get up there, side drive somebody, or it's just going to straight up turn them. But we are at the halfway point now. The 7 of Rickett leads the way. Casey all over the back bumper, but we're going to go ahead and listen to them get around the Auto Club Speedway with a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it.
Sights and sounds from the 191 Motorsports here under the Love to Hear It. Well, now it's back to green flag racing here. Hopefully we can keep it a little more green here. A couple cautions under the Love to Hear It. As you see, the 4 wide didn't exactly work out for some of the drivers under this last caution, but now it's working out for Dale Garner Jr. as he is your new leader out front. Levi Poland up there in second. Scruffy Jordan trying to get that Dude Webs number 23 from third to first through 1 and 2. He's going to do it for now, at least. I don't know if he's got enough of a run. Definitely doesn't have the draft on the bottom, so he's going to have to send it through 3 and 4 here. But either way, he's got that 23 up there, and there you go. There's a send through 3 and 4, and a little bit of an asphalt slide job to get himself up to the lead. Just keep it off the wall. Good to go. 65, but Tony Brennan starting to work his way up there as well, up into 4th place. Rakes back up to 5th. Pierre, Hardy, Casey, Miner, and Osborne for your top 10. We did see the 7 of Billy Rickett come in and give up the lead under this last caution, so not sure if he's in maybe a window to make it to the end. Again, we're not sure about the fuel mileage here, but it was really strange to see the 7 relinquish the lead here pretty late and go to the back of the pack, so we'll see how it all works out here. But for now, Jordan out front.
Yeah, Jordan had a little low moment there not too long ago. Got a little sideways, and checked a lot of the drivers up in the front, allowed Mike Casey to kind of get a big good jump in here. Sitting in 5th right now, along with Zach here behind him, and I've seen a good run there by Heasy as well. So just able to take advantage and close the gap here as well. Lap number 67 up 100. Still have plenty of racing here as the night goes on, and Matthew Jordan is your current leader over Dale Garner Jr., Levi Poland, Tony Brennan, and Hazy Hardy. Your top 5. Then you got Michael Casey, Zach here, Michael Riggs, Thomas Osborne, Scotty Henderson for your top 10.
Unless I'm wrong, I think the only one in the top 5 right now, well, now it's Casey in 5th, but I think he's the only one in the top 5 with a win here so far this season. So certainly Jordan and Garner and Brennan looking for their first win along with Levi Poland, but I'll double check those to see. Yeah, that is the case here, as first one in the order right now is Mike Casey that has a win, as he's now up into 5th place. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so already, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that we have to offer here on Sierra, and I want to thank our sponsors, Beyond the Edge, Kim's Cups and More, and One Vision EMS and Transports for everything that to do here for the series. As we are in the back half of this race, as 91 gets up to the wall there a little bit. Looks like Scruffy maybe had a rough exit of turn number 4 as well. So now on the inside, Brennan in a 65 looking for the lead as they go 3 wide behind him.
65, Tony trying to get up there and get that lead there, going down to the inside there. This is through 1 and 2. He's able to make the passes. You have to clear somebody through 1 and 2. Get up in front of them more. They will get the run on the outside. You can see the 31 to get a little better run. Being able to come down to the inside, but the 23 of Jordan's going to hold him down a little bit. Not going to allow him to kind of wash out there a little bit. He tries, gets really close, but Jordan's just enough of and being in the way to kind of keep that momentum going there on the outside. He's going to take this down into 1 and 2.
Bit of a gap now forming in between the top 7 and the rest of the field. The rest of the field being led by Billy Rickett here, but he is 1.3 seconds behind the top drivers. So now the question is, does he even want to catch those top drivers? Did he come in there to get himself in a fuel window where everybody else can't make it, and maybe he can? So we'll see if he tries to lessen that gap, which seems like he is right now, already down to 1.2 tenths of a second, getting a little bit here and there to try and pull this field back together, as Zane Bierman back there with him trying to run through the field. Scott Henderson right behind him, rounding out your top 10. Good run so far here for Scott, but out front it is Tony Brennan leading the way. Scruffy Jordan trying to hold on to 2nd place for now. Garner Jr. on the inside trying to take it away from him. Casey has gotten around Levi Poland here for 4th place. Poland slotted back there now in 5th. Hardy, Pierre, Rickett, Bierman, and Henderson for your top 10.
Yeah, this racing up here is going to allow Billy Rickett to kind of reel him in here pretty quickly, as that leads down to now 1 second. So getting into that area where you start sniffing that draft and kind of drag them up into the fray there of the top 7 drivers. I'm bringing the likes of Zane Bierman with him back there in P number 9 at the moment. And then Scotty Anderson back with the next group sitting in P number 10, but not too far off that tail end of Zane Bierman. So doing a good job here, kind of keeping in touch with everything. Paul Helms, after getting involved there, is back at 11th. Still up a few spots. Douglas Ivy just not having the luck he needs tonight at the moment. But we still have 28 laps to go here tonight as this thing starts to wind down.
Yeah, wind down, yes, but still, yeah, as you said, 28 laps. That's a long time here around Auto Club. A long time for a lot of different things to happen. I'm not sure again if we've seen
28 laps at Nürburgring, right?
Well, that's true. That's true. That'd be an endurance race, is what we call that. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if we've seen our last set of pit stops here. I don't think we've seen certainly the last lead change. Really don't know who's gonna win it right now at this point. We got looks like 7 cars at the front of this field, but now Rickett has closed them in and he's trying to get up there as well, and he is now joined them. So now 8 cars at the front, and then 1.6 seconds back to Bierman lead the rest of the field. But now we're going to have an incident here on the outside. A couple of cars involved. Olin is the one that ended up nosing it into the outside wall. Looks like Tony Brennan with a black flag as well. The 30 down there at the bottom, Hezzy Hardy involved. Let's take a look back and see what happened on this one. As a lane change right there by Poland, and I think he just kind of crossed himself up, got a little bit close to the wall, tried to come back down, but Jordan was already there, and I think that's why Brennan got the black flag right there crossing onto pit road. I'm surprised that the 23 didn't get a black flag as well. The 30 right there kind of getting hooked and sent down to the inside. Doesn't look like too much damage for the cars involved, but going to be another caution here, and I would not be surprised if we see some busy pit road right on this one.
Yeah, you're down to 26 laps to go. If you have a set of tires, you're at that point where you're like, should I take them or should I not? Will another caution come out? I'm saying yes, because you can make it the rest of the way. And if this does go green, they have had runs here tonight of some pretty decent length, and they could run this thing to the end, to the checker. And obviously, a few cautions here tonight. Some heavy racing, netcode being involved in some of them, and obviously when you get the heavy racing like the 4 wides and stuff like that, it's kind of a you think white knuckling's difficult at Talladega or Daytona. I mean, 4 wide, you hear you're the meat, the 2 guys at the center, so it's just like it is pretty difficult. So we're seeing it does look like they're going to bring them all down here. All the drivers kind of coming in, checking up just a little bit. Everybody trying to slow down, not get any speed. We do get a speed. It looks like a black flag there for your leader, though, Tony Brennan.
We'll see if that. Oh yeah, that's. Either way, we'll see if it gets cleared here. But we mentioned that the holiday coming up here, with 4th of July coming up next weekend, and certainly a lot of fun things to do other than fireworks. I'm sure a lot of parties to go to, a lot of backyard barbecues, things like that. What's your favorite activity, or what's your favorite game to do at those barbecues? I mean, certainly sitting down, chilling out, and enjoying a cold beverage, or taking a nap. We'll allow that as one of them, because I know that'll be Jimmy's for sure. But I mean, there's certainly a lot that you get. You got volleyball, you got cornhole. You can play lawn darts if you're feeling froggy, I guess. But what's your go-to when it comes to have a little fun at the backyard barbecues for 4th of July?
Well, it really kind of depend on this time frame. When I was a kid, we'd go over some of the relatives' house, and they'd have like 4-wheelers out, or swimming down on the pond or something like that, or go horseback ride. So there's a lot of different things that I used to do when I was a kid for the holidays. And while after I grew up, graduated high school, joined the Navy, it could have been maybe staying on watch on a ship, keeping the ship safe from the sailors themselves, or anybody that's not supposed to be there. But Yeah, things have changed. I think recently my more favorite thing to do is go to like a ball game. Maybe like that day or that weekend prior to. They usually have all the fireworks, like you said. And Carl, you talked about fireworks and setting them off. And it was about a couple of years ago. I spent quite a bit of money on fireworks just to kind of light the neighborhood up for pretty much everybody. So the neighborhood gets pretty lively around here. But I think the biggest pain after all that is cleaning up the mess.
Yeah, they do the shrapnel from everything. Is definitely yeah, exactly. I mean, I just every once in a while I'll spend a few $100s and just get some of the boxes, and even that sometimes you got to freaking hose them down afterwards because you can't just obviously toss them right in the garbage can or they'll melt your garbage can down. Yeah, it's certainly it can be a fun time. I agree with you. The going to the ballpark is definitely fun. When I know a couple years ago we went to a Phillies game. It wasn't on 4th of July, but it was one of the fireworks shows leading up to it, and they had a drone show before the fireworks, and the drone show was damn near almost as impressive, if not more impressive than actual fireworks. It's amazing what they can do with just all the drones kind of computer programmed to. It made it look like it was the actual players throwing pitches up in the air. I mean, it was insane. So it's definitely it's got a little more ramped up since when myself or you were a kid for sure. But it's time to get back to racing here at Auto Club, and our new leader out here is Scotty Henderson, and looks like Renee's got to provide the fan for him because he's feeling a little hot. He's feeling a little heated up here. He's got the Phantom fireworks on the back quarter panel of that car, so maybe looking to set off some fireworks himself here after a win if he can try and hold on for just another 23 laps.
Yeah, you kind of get to that point of a race, if your car's feeling good and you get a good run here, and maybe you weren't too harsh on your tires, you get yourself out there out front, get a decent finish, and you got Douglas Ivey pushing him down the backstretch. St. Bierman's going to go ahead and look down to that inside line, and now he's got to kind of hold it tight, though. If he gets too far inside of the number 72, and he does, almost gets up, and that's what he's talking about, washing out. You get down into 3 and 4. You really need to be able to get that move made down to the inside, but they do a good job of checking up just a little bit for each other, providing some room, and that's going to allow Douglas Ivey in the 33 to kind of take over. But St. Bierman makes the run down through the middle of 1 and 2, heading down to the back, and now in the lead with Mike Casey on the rear bumper. And here comes the number 7 of Billy Rickett.
He's made his way for the back to the front, so not sure what strategy he was going with, but it's paying off right now. He's up there in third on the inside, trying to get to the inside of Casey. They're going to be side by side for the lead with Zane Bierman at the front. Bierman still leading the way on the outside. Now Rickett joins him on the outside, trying to help out with that run, and Rickett certainly enjoys being on the outside line through 1 and 2. He's been running it pretty much all night long, and now he's going to diamond it off here a little bit, cut it down, trying to get some fresh air on that 7, but the 6 is going to get a good run through the corner. And here comes the 30 as well. Look out for Hezzy Hardy trying to get his second win on the year. Going to tuck in behind Mike Casey for the time being. Bierman looking for his first win on the season, and I feel like it's been a little bit since we've had a pre-race in-race reporter go on and grab the win for that night as well. But right now he's going to have to settle into second place because Billy Rickett back at the point.
Yes, Billy Rickett back at the point, but let's talk about his teammate, Carl. Travis Noble back on the lead lap here with 28 laps to go. Now sitting in pack and P number 17, so Ari has made a few spots back, and now has some. He needs to finish off the night. Obviously started off not what he wanted or anticipated. The league was kind enough to allow him to work during the pit cycles in order to get back and to kind of overcome 10 laps and then kind of give that opportunity to get a decent finish. Now it's just keep it clean and try to get that number 70 up there, as he's had a few great finishes here for the season so far. But Billy Rickett is your current leader, starting to pull away, and I guess I keep warning or caution to Billy not to burn up your stuff too quickly, as we got 19 laps to go.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this race, and it looks like the 7 is content, just trying to stretch out this lead a little bit, make sure he gets plenty of fresh air on that 7, but the 55 right now in second place. Maybe try to hold up the field here a little bit and try and be nice and cautious, but that's not the way to do it right there. It stacks up the field here a little bit, but he's going to stay in second. To answer the question out there from Spider Bones, in my opinion, on the last one, it seemed like it was on Levi, just kind of got a little bit close to the wall, I think, and just natural reaction, turned down away from the wall and came across the nose of the 23. But it was so quick and such a little move, and with the net code issues on the front stretch, I'm sure that's why you see there, Big Daddy calling it a. Well, actually, he's talking about the 4-wide there. That got a little bit spicy right there. We're gonna keep this thing going as no quick trigger fingers there from Big Daddy. So that's a good thing. We'll keep this thing green.
There, one heck of a hip check there from the 65 and the 27. And Zach here, and he was able to kind of catch that and keep things clean here. He lost a few spots, so back to work he goes as he's now side by side with Thomas Osborne. Still in that top 10 though, so a pretty decent run. But biggest mover of the race is the number 30, sitting in P number 2 at the moment, up 15 spots of Casey Harding.
Check in there from Jenny rooting on Mike Casey, so get it from both ends. Got Jenny actually rooting on Mike Casey, and then you got Renee. Well, Renee being Renee for the number 6 there, but got to enjoy Scotty up there for a little bit, running some laps at the front, but he's unfortunately now fallen back to 17th because he's got those older tires. He's got 18 lap older tires compared to the rest of the field, or at least most of the rest of the field. Billy Rickett with 4 new tires on that number 7 since he came in on lap 75. Got some brushing of the wall back here. Looks like Travis Noble, after all the work that Travis Noble has done, he's got a meatball flag, Jimmy.
Oh no! He must have hit he did. He hit the wall too hard, Carl. He's got so much right front damage. He's gonna lose time right now, and he can only hope for a caution flag to come out. And his answer was almost there as Steve Harris took his car down to the infield, off the track, I should say, there through the backstretch. But you see the major front right damage there to that car. You can see him right here going around the corner, just a lot of turning. I'm sure he's fighting that wheel to kind of keep things going. But we've seen worse, Carl. We've seen some drivers crab around like Indianapolis and still finish fairly well. So. You can kind of work your way through it. It's just how long will the tires last, and obviously you only get 3 laps. When you get a meatball, treat it like a black flag. You got 3 laps to serve it. You gotta come down and get that fixed, or you'll get disqualified. So unfortunately, Travis Noble is going to take that right now and bring that number 70 down in the pit lane here. After all that hard work to get back on the lead lap, was on a move and. Gets into the wall there, but the battle is up front as the 30 is on the back bumper of number 7, and here comes the number 6 of Mike Casey, side by side here underneath Casey Hardy, trying to maybe take 2 for 1, but doesn't quite get there. Can't drift to the outside. Has to check up just a little bit. It's going to give the 7 a little better of a run out of turn number 4.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the draft not meaning too much here. It doesn't seem like it means a lot when you're in the draft, but when you're not in the draft, you're losing a lot of time. And you've seen that for Mike Casey as he comes off the corner side by side with with either Rickett or with the 30 Hezzy Hardy before you got to the wall there, of course. And just kind of dies out because the 30 got in line with the 7, and they just drove right back along past him. So the draft definitely means quite a bit here, at least when you're not in it, I guess is more the thing. But right now, Casey's going to settle into second place. Zane Bierman back up into 3rd. Biggest mover of the race, or movers, I should say, Hezzy Hardy and Andrew Jones back there 6th and 7th, up 11 spots each. So good race for them, but they just got to finish this thing out because we still got another about 11 and a half laps left in this race. The 7's still leading the way. and he's going to kind of dip out of line right here for now. I'm not sure if that's what he really wants to do. He wants to stay in line with that draft. I know he doesn't want to pull the drivers up to him, but he doesn't want to lose out in that advantage either. But now up high through 3 and 4, Casey tries to get a run, tries to get a little bit of a side draft going. Not going to happen just yet. Ricky going to lead another lap here, 11 to go.
And Billy's just trying to run his line, trying to fend off this train behind him. I mean, it's all the way back to Matthew. Actually, Zach Pierre and Robbie Miner back here for top 10. So like 10 drivers kind of all under a blanket, nose to tail. They're starting to go too wide, trying to get things done here. We are at 11 laps to go here as we're working our way down the backstretch. Mike Casey is the current leader, but obviously a lot of shuffling around at the moment. Can Casey, complete this pass and then keep on going and fend off the rest of the field? There's been a lot of drivers up towards the front tonight for as far as leaders go. Billy Rickett, Zane Bierman, Michael Rakes has been up there. There's a lot of drivers here. Who's going to win? We don't know. I don't know. I mean, it could be anybody as this thing winds down.
Casey looking for his third win on the season. Rickett looking for his second. Bierman looking for his first. And quite a few other drivers behind them looking for their first as well. So how hard will they run at the front? Will that bring them back to the rest of the field? Casey in the lead right now and stretch it out here a little bit. Already 0.6 of a second. So they're going to have to, kind of lock in behind and try and run down this 6 already. They don't want to see that 6 start to get off in the distance. Meanwhile, Rakes trying to put the moves on the 7 of Rickett. And I feel like that 7 is good on the early runs as that got close to an incident with Pierre and the 23 of Jordan. But it seems like later in the runs is when that 7 starts to fall off. Not sure if it's just from used up tires or what the case is, or maybe Casey doing a better job of saving tires early in the run. Takes the lead here again. Bierman up into second place, trying to get the run down the backstretch. He's got a really good run here. We'll see if he stays in line. He will stay in line. Dips down just a little bit to maybe get some fresh air. Heading into the corner, Rickett to the outside, trying to retake second.
He's not going to quite get that, but he's going to get the crossover. He could set it down to 1 and 2 on the bottom side, but Rickett hasn't been running that low side through 1 and 2 pretty much all evening. He's done it a few times, but not very often. You see the 18 going to dive down there, try to get the move made, and it's all about getting that momentum and holding it through the corner. Can the 18 get by as see him going pretty wide as Rickett almost gets into the back there to the 55 or say.
Rakes able to get up to third with that power move down into 1. Looking to try and figure out a way to get to the 55 and the 6 before this thing is over. As the time's starting to tick down right now. We're down to 7 laps to go here at the line. Taking a look back a little further in the field. Still a lot of battling going on, not just for the lead as it gets close right there at the front. 31 of Gardner just sliding up in front of Rickett into to 4th place right now, but it is still jam-packed at the front. But the 6 leading and trying to kind of pull a little bit of a gap here. It seems like once they get in line down the straightaways, they can reel him back in a little bit, but nobody willing to make that move. Bierman content to sticking in line right now, but now he is going to look to the inside into 3 and 4. This is how Casey's been able to get to the lead. Can Bierman drive it in there hard enough to get up there? He's not going to be able to right now. He's going to get up alongside the 6, try and slow him down a little bit. Not going to be able to. He's going to have to get back in line just in time in front of Rakes. He's going to give him a little shot down the front stretch, try and get him back to the 6 here once more into 1. But he's going to stay right behind him, head to that high line, and try and regroup and pick another run at it.
Yeah, just obviously the dirty air, behind Casey is what he's trying to keep on the nose of the 55, makes him really tight, and just he needs to continue to run his best line and force the 55 to run, the more aggressive line. You can see the 55 not getting any kind of run down there out of 3 and 4. They come down the front stretch, so he's going to need to use this draft and then see which line he chooses. A lot of drivers will head right down to the apex, but they're going to all stay a little bit higher. See Billy Rickett looking a little bit down to the inside, trying to get some fresh air on that nose, and he's going to get a pretty decent run, enough to pull him alongside the number 31, but the 31's got a little more momentum coming out of the corner. as they head down into numbers 3 and 4. And then you'll probably see the 7's going to go ahead and send it down in there just a little bit. Not super deep, but enough to get them side by side. But that's going to slow up to 7. He can't wash out like he'd want to, but I think he's going to be able to slide right in there behind Dale Garner Jr. And we see Zach Pierre trying to do the same exact thing underneath Billy Rickett.
Side by side now for the lead as Bierman, sends it to the inside and going to get the asphalt slider here into turn number 1. Looks like Helms and Henderson into the pits. Not sure if maybe they're short on fuel. They're not going to make it here. We got 4 laps to go at Auto Club. New leader Zane Bierman to the front of this field. Can he hold off the 6 of Casey, or is it going to be the same thing now? Casey just kind of waits, bides his time, waits for his chance to make that move into the corner and pull his slider as well. Back to the line, 3 to go.
Yeah, and he's got to be careful because he's got the 18 right behind him, and he can box in Casey and force him to just stay behind and work with Zane in order to get a good finish. But we're down to 3 laps to go now. Zane Bierman's your leader over Michael Casey, and Michael Rakes back there in P number 3. Dale Garner Jr. doing a fantastic job. That 31 Chevy machine. Billy Rickett back up to P number 5, and you got Zach Pierre in there. He's been there all night. The 27's definitely showed his nose a few times and is trying to get up there, but just a few more spots to get on that podium if he can manage to get up there tonight. But he is battling back there with Billy Rickett, and now he gets around, but easy smacks the wall. Don't do that.
Yeah, he finally starting to rebound after he smacked the wall before, being up there at the front of the field, and now he scrapes the wall here again. Bierman not getting a great run through turn 1 and maybe a little bit better through turn 2, but Casey going to pull up alongside of him, and Garner Jr. sliding up in front of Rakes down the backstretch. Casey able to just get in between right there. Just kind of lick the stamp and send it to get back in line. But back at the line this time by, it's going to be 1 lap to go. Bierman going to lead him back to the white flag right here. Next flag will end it. 1 more to go here at Auto Club. Bierman in front. Which lane does he choose? Does he choose to block down low? Does he choose to go for the preferred line up high? He kind of takes the high line through 1 and 2. Casey trying to turn it down the hill out of turn number 2, trying to get that run. He's going to have a pretty good enough run here. Can Bierman do enough blocking down the backstretch? He goes down, blocks the first move here from the 6. Where will he go into 3 and 4? He's going to take the high line, and maybe that kind of crossed up the 6 of Casey, thinking that he was going to go down to the bottom and block. That's not going to be the case. Zane Bierman, your in-race reporter, is going to go on to the win here tonight, get his first win of the season. Casey's going to have to settle for 2nd. Garner Jr. comes home with a good fight there for 3rd. Rakes, Pierre round out your top 5. Rickett, Hardy, Jones, Jordan, and Minor for your top 10. This was a good one here, Jimmy. This is a good one to the line here. A lot of cars up there involved, and just about any of them could have gotten up there and got the win, but Bierman was in the right spot at the right time. He was able to hold off the 6.
He did a fantastic job, and like you said, I think he threw him off there. I think Casey was all planning on going maybe a little harder, to the outside and try to, pinch Bierman down there, and but Zane played that pretty much the way you need to, just kind of in the way. And Casey would have had to do something that was kind of big there. Some drivers wrapping things up here tonight, finishing off their cars. But Zane Bierman burning it down here tonight. So congratulations to number 55 of Zane Bierman, with Mike Casey finishing in 2nd, and then Dale Garner Jr. in 3rd. Go ahead and run down the list of your finishers here tonight as they are celebrating and taking the time to get down in the booth. So we'll go ahead and bring that up. And your winner, obviously, Zane Bierman down there in victory lane. And then Michael Casey, Dale Garner Jr., that we've already spoke of. And then Michael Rakes, Zach Pierre, Billy Rickett, Easy Hardy, Andrew Jones, Matthew Jordan, Robbie Minor for your top 10. Tony Brennan finishes back in 11th. Thomas Osborne in 12th, Levi Poland in 13th, Steve Harris in 14th, Douglas Ivey in 15th, Wade in 16th, 17th is Travis Noble, 18th will be Paul Helms, and then back in 19th is going to be Scott Henderson, And then we'll give Tanner McAllister a shout out as he made the list, Carl.
Hey, he did. He didn't get credited with a single lap, but he made the list. And Travis Noble finished almost everything here tonight. Finished 99.91 laps here tonight. So I got to count for something for sure. But Zayden Bierman is the one that tops the board here. Want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Want to thank the sponsors again. Beyond the Edge, Kim's Cups and More, and One Vision EMS and Transports for everything that they do. We'll get our top 3 in for their interviews, which they are all ready to go. I think thanks to Big Daddy for helping make that happen. So we'll go ahead and start with our third place finisher here tonight. That's going to be the 31 of Dale Garner Jr. Definitely a good run for the 31 up there, but it had to be a little crazy, a little nerve-wracking. I mean, you guys had about 10 cars under a blanket for the last 15, 20 laps. Well, pretty much the entire race, but certainly for the run at the end. So I'm assuming you were doing more than just looking out the windshield for this one.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was covering everything. I spent the last 10 laps trying to find where I was faster than Rakes because I was lifting and braking pretty hard for him in the corner. So I knew I had pace, but I couldn't get him on the inside. So I was bound and determined to get a Chevy in the top 3 and not see a Ford go 1, 2, 3.
So you think if you could have gotten by Rakes earlier, you may have had a chance at Casey and Bierman. It seemed like passing was doable here tonight, but you really had to get a good run off the corner, get a good draft, send it down, and almost kind of pull the asphalt slider to make it happen.
Yeah, and I'm good at dirt, but I'm not good at throwing asphalt sliders. So I was trying to set all my passes up. I was trying to get them on the outside and try and pinch them down on the bottom, because once you went to the bottom, you dropped like a stone.
Well, you got yourself up here on the podium here tonight at the end of it. So congrats on a good run here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I want to say thanks to my mom for watching every weekend, and thanks to you guys and the admins at 191, Paul, Mike, Scotty, Brad, Richard, when they actually show up. These guys throw on a great league. You guys do a great podcast. I love watching them back. So appreciate you guys for spending your time with us.
I appreciate it, buddy. You enjoy the 4th of July weekend next week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks when you head to Talladega.
All right, man.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 31 of Dale Garner Jr. Second place here tonight, a hard fought second place, going to go to the 6 of Mike Casey.
Mike, it's Jimmy, Carl up in the booth. You copy?
I got you, fellas.
Well, welcome back to the booth, man. Obviously, not the start that you wanted here tonight, but you gained 8 spots here tonight to finish off.
I hit the wall.
Well, there's that.
That's what happened. In case everybody was trying to calculate what I was doing, I might have hit the wall for good measure. So that was on me. My fault. We had a week off, so.
Well, I mean, you had a week off, and you turn around, you finish second here, and then next week you get a week off, and then you head off to Talladega. We're gonna see you hitting the wall again.
Oh, let's hope not. Yeah, I was kind of nervous to run this the orange paint, my bodyguard paint, because last time it got the crap beat out of it at Kansas, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna run that one anymore. So I'm glad we were able to put on a good show at Auto Club. That since Michigan was kind of a caution fest, so it felt good to get in that bodyguard machine tonight and actually be able to get out there and get the elbows up and race a little bit. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely seen some good moves, and you come through the field a few times here tonight. What was the challenge here tonight for the field? I mean, there was a lot of nose to tail running, especially there at the end to come bring this thing down to the finish.
Yeah, it was just kind of being patient. I did speed on pit road, so I hit the wall in qualifying and I sped on pit road. If I always say I'm doing it for TV, I was doing it for TV tonight. I was all over the place, so I did not get a lot of seat time this week and get in here and do a lot of practice, and it shows just a little stuff that you can mess up on if you don't practice. So, but anyways, yeah, just kind of staying patient. I did get shuffled to the back and just had to bide my time trying to make my way through the field without getting into anybody. That's always the goal, no matter where you're at, just trying to race everybody cleanly and do it the right way.
Yeah, it's always a challenge, driving around, 19 other drivers here tonight, making sure you're not ruining their race, especially when you're the guy that's, everybody's looking at you. You're all eyes on the guy that, one of the guys that runs the league. So definitely it makes it so challenging. And before they call you out on your bad moves. But here tonight, you didn't make too many bad moves besides on yourself, and you were able
Sure.
to finish here in P number 2. So congratulations, man. And we'll give you some time frame shouts. We might have it at number 6.
All right, I appreciate that. Shout out to AMR Paintworks over on Facebook. He's the one that does all the paints for me and a lot of the other guys in our league. So I want to give him a shout out. He makes awesome paint. So AMR Paintworks on Facebook, y'all can look him up. But obviously, you and Carl up in the booth at CRN, you guys definitely need to get the thumbs up and subscribe to these guys. Like I said, not only here at 191, but they put on broadcasting all week and obviously do a great job. But want to thank all of our sponsor, Beyond the Edge, One Vision EMS Transport. Richard Hartman was not able to race again with us tonight, so we hope to see him back on the track here soon. And then obviously Wade and his wife over at Kim's Cups and More over on Facebook. Go over there and put your orders in, send them a private message. And shout out to the wife, everybody on YouTube watching. Appreciate everybody. And like I said, it was good to come back, and yeah, we'll be off this weekend again for the 4th, and then like Jimmy was saying, we'll be headed to Dega next. So we look forward to that.
Well, I look forward to seeing you all come back and the Super Speedway pit stops. My favorite, of course, and it's one thing to see out there. But again, congratulations, man! Thank you for the shout outs, and we'll let you go celebrate this one and next week's holiday with your friends and family.
All right, I appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 6 of Mike Casey. Unfortunately, we had to keep his sound on, whether Renee wants to or not. But he pays the bills. He pays the bills here for the broadcast, and so we feel obligated to keep his sound on. So either way, we'll get to our last interview here tonight. He was the first interview, and now he's the last. Zane Bierman and the 55. Zane, you crack through. You get your first win of the season. Man, you had to work for it here tonight, though.
Did I have to work for it? Yep. I took a little bit of damage late in the race, trying to help out Mike a little bit with a bump, and that cost me a lap, but was able to grind it back away with the help of a lucky dog, so I can't complain about that.
So I guess the only question is, how much were you able to look out the windshield on that final lap or those final couple laps? Because I feel like it had to be pretty much all mirror driving, relative driving, like everything but looking out the windshield, because you got to do everything you could to keep that 6 behind you.
Well, I actually kind of looked only forward because I knew if I started driving in the mirror, that's when I'm liable to make a mistake. And I knew that me and Mike had very, very similar pace, and it would have taken something heavy for him to get around me in the last couple corners, as it would have me if the roles were reversed. So I tried to just focus on hitting my braking point, or at least my turn-in point, getting back on the throttle and not getting it sideways.
So last question for you. I mean, here at Auto Club, you can pretty much take any line you want in these corners and try and figure out how to make it work. But it seemed like there was kind of a preferred line in both the corners. Certainly, unless somebody was going to pull an asphalt slider in 1 and 2, it seemed like the top line was where you wanted to be to get that momentum. And it seemed like for the most part, the bottom line was the preferred line through 3 and 4. But you kind of, it almost seemed like you made a decision in 3 and 4 there that maybe kind of crossed up Mike a little bit, thinking that you would go down to the bottom to take that line, or maybe take the the slider away from him. You decided to go kind of like the middle of the high line into to 3 and 4, and I think that kind of took any chance that he had of getting down there, because he wasn't thinking about it. At least from what I was seeing up here in the booth, was that kind of subconsciously what you were thinking, or were you just going where the car wanted to?
Yeah. I knew where I had to be to make it hard on the people behind me, and that doesn't sound great to say, but I would rather do that than throw a late block that somebody's not expecting and then something go awry. So he's cool with it. He said he knew that was probably what was going to happen, and but that's something we say every week, is that you learn how the people around you drive and what they're going to do. Which eventually contributes to cleaner and better quality racing. So that's just a product of that, I think. And I'll give him a hats off for being aware of his surroundings and knowing, from experience racing together, what probably was going to happen there.
Well, it happened to get you your first win of the season. So congrats again on the win here tonight at Auto Club. Before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, I'm thanking my wife again, and our little boy turns a month old tomorrow. So happy 1 month birthday for Bodie, and appreciate you guys putting it on for us, and everybody at 191 for making it happen as well.
Awesome. A little early birthday present for Bodie over there. So congrats again on the win. We'll let you go celebrate. Certainly enjoy the 4th of July weekend. We'll see you back in action here at Talladega in 2 weeks.
Sounds good, guys. Happy holidays.
You too, buddy. That is your winner here tonight, the 55 of Zane Bierman. First interview, last interview. It feels like it's been a minute since that's happened to us here at CRN, but congratulations again to the 55 of Zane Bierman. That is going to do it for us here tonight. Again, week off next week. Enjoy the holidays out there, everyone. We still got some more racing left this week for you CRN fanatics, as we got tomorrow night right back in action with the Hold Your Brakes Academy. So make sure you tune into that one. But for myself and Jimmy from the Auto Club Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.
Green flag drops on a Sunday night, engines screaming, fists up tight, Discord popping, somebody said, get you some before we're dead. Lap 1, chaos, 3 wide deep, somebody blinks, somebody weeps, rear view mirror full of smoke, cut me off, I won't lift, that'll do it, there he goes again. You dive in low, I hold my line, chrome to chrome at the finish line. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning, league race live, and we're still 3 wide. You wanna see my dog? Yeah, that eagle on my grill is boss. Talk is cheap when the mic is hot, but back it up when the track gets tight. Slide job sent from outer space. Net code give it, net code takes. Somebody's yelling in the chat. Who drove through me? Imagine that. White flags flying, hearts beat fast. One more corner, don't lift that gas. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning, league race live, and we're still 3 wide. Some got skill and some got luck. Some just scream, Scotty, wake up. Admin's watching, finger on mute. Somebody crossed the racing route. 3 laps down, but still we fight. Short track war under neon lights. Why not one racing? Say it loud. We ain't here to run in a crowd. Get you some. Hold it flat. If you spin me, we'll talk about that. That'll do it. Lights come up, so let's begin. Green flag drops on a Sunday night, engines screaming, fists up tight, Discord popping, somebody said, get you some before we're dead. Somebody blinks, somebody weeps. Rear view mirror full of smoke. Cut me off, I won't lift. That'll do it. There he goes again. You dive in low, I hold my line. Chrome to chrome at the finish line. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside. Get you some, hold it wide. Get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning. League race live and we're still 3 wide. You wanna see my dog? Yeah, that eagle on my grill is boss. Talk is cheap when the mic is hot, but back it up when the track gets tight. Slide job sent from outer